Alright, are you ready, ladies and gentlemen? Are you guys ready?
I'm
so used to doing
I would say mostly gentlemen.
I'm so used
unless
to...
because you're talking to just us.
Yes, right?
Yeah. Right now, I called you ladies and gentlemen.
Maybe he's calling himself lady.
That's the only logical.
Fine by me.
I'd say.
Hello, Spider friends, and welcome to the 4th episode of the Spider-Man Retrospective. I am the hobby Travis Snail.
The hobby?
Hobgoblin doesn't have a nickname, and I don't want to just call myself Hobgoblin Travis Snail because, like, Taylor did it once where he's like, Taylor, Kylo Ren, Field. And I'm like, that's lame, so just okay, got it. The pumpkin bomb throwing Travis Snail.
I do like pumpkin bombs.
We're going to get into it. Top 3 could be my all-time favorite comic book weapon. Just fucking sick.
That is specifically one of my notes because they are pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I am the saw blade throwing.
Oh, I am the Kyle Fury Smid.
Oh, okay.
Nice! I like it.
I thought you were going to go with the glider, but then they brought it all back.
The glider?
Well, because I did the pumpkin one, you did the blades, but it all makes sense. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know how the show works, we are reviewing every episode of the 1994 Spider-Man series that is animated, and that is classic, and that has been really good so far. Go check the past 3 episodes out. We've had lots of fun. We dissect each episode, start to finish. We're going to finish this. It's on Canadian Netflix. It's on YouTube. Go watch it so you can watch along. If not, I'm going to read out a description of the episodes. So far, we've been having a good time. This is the end of Season 1. Big episodes. Last 3 episodes. We're going to do a little mini recap Season 1 review. So, you guys ready to go?
Yeah, let's get the description going.
So, Episode 1. Episode 11. The Hobgoblin. Part 1. The Hobgoblin.
Tell me something more about this Hobgoblin.
Part 1. Well, Norman
Hobgoblin.
Norman Osborn hires the Hobgoblin to assassinate Wilson Fisk, also known as the Kingpin, because of the crime lord's continuous threats against him. Peter Parker saves Fisk just as the Hobgoblin attempts an attack on him. After eluding Spider-Man, the Hobgoblin is fired by Norman as his unsuccessful assassination of the Kingpin. I think I said it wrong, but he fires the Hobgoblin because he doesn't do a good job enough.
It's part 1.
Part 1, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What did you guys think about this episode?
I'll start.
Yeah.
I think it was alright. Definitely some good... definitely some good moments in this episode. I'm still kind of confused who this Hobgoblin is, but I guess I'll just roll. Like, I don't understand his motives.
I will tell you that I think you're kind of supposed to be confused, because before you finish overall, before Dylan does, the Hobgoblin in the comics was a very controversial figure because he went the longest without being his true identity revealed to the readers.
Yeah. And
in that time, there was about 4 to 5 people that they had pegged as the Hobgoblin, but then switched. So they're like, oh, our plan is to make this guy, like Ralph Jr., he's going to be Hobgoblin. And then like, 6 months later, like, no, maybe we should make this guy the Hobgoblin. So it was notorious that, like, people couldn't guess who it was because even the writers, and they switched writers, didn't even know. At one point, they revealed who the Hobgoblin was. And then issues later, they revealed that guy was only mind-controlled to be the Hobgoblin by the real Hobgoblin. So the Hobgoblin...
He's a mystery in himself.
He is known for being that very mysterious figure. You don't know, sometimes his motives, where he's from. So that's why, like, it might be a negative for you. And if it is, still, it's fine. But, like, I think it's kind of an intentional thing. It's almost a tribute because...
I don't think it's a negative thing. It's just, it has me confused of, like, who... And I want to know.
But I like that because, once again, we talk about this on this retrospective all the time, that, to me, it treats it as, like, adult-like because it gives a little interest. And this is our first villain that in this series we don't know his origin right away. Unlike Rhino and Shocker, they're just goons, we don't need to know them. But like the other ones always got an origin. So continue. I just want to throw that out as like a little history lesson on the Hobgoblin.
And I think there's some really good moments in this episode as well too. We'll bring up later. I think definitely between the Hobgoblin. Wow,
it's tough. Hobby. I'm calling him Hobby.
H.
H. Yeah.
H and Wilson Fisk. Like, I think that was a really cool moment that he had. Just the turnings of like what you learn, who like this H is.
Yeah.
Because Hobgoblin is a mouthful.
Okay. Yeah. Dylan, what did you think overall on the Hobgoblin Part 1?
Well, I really liked both parts. I apologize in advance. a bit hard for me to like distinguish these two episodes from each other as it was for like the trilogy we did last episode. I think those are a little more disjointed, whereas this one, like literally the end of the first episode is this fight scene that continues in the second, so it's very much kind of blended together for me. But overall, I really liked it. I think Hobgoblin, I liked his voice and I liked his look and all.
Voiced by the great Mark Hamill.
Nice. I didn't pick up on that.
That laugh was really good.
Yeah.
Joker so I like. We talked about the pumpkin bombs. I love those. I thought he was a very interesting villain. I like that. I guess we don't really know his origins, but he's just a power hungry guy. He just wants money. He wants influence. We find out later as well. So I really liked this episode.
Yeah, this is a guy who I don't think he'd make it in my top 10, but maybe top 15. I love the Hobgoblin a lot. He's really, really cool. Just from, once again, most characters, when I loved them as a child, was just based on the look. And I love his look, like the yellow face, the big red eyes, his costume, the oranges. Obviously, we'll see Green Goblin later, and I love his look as well. But just another one. When you get, because the Hobgoblin did come first after the Green Goblin in the comics.
Yeah.
So like, a lot of times you get knockoffs. They're kind of lame, they're cheap. But this costume, to me, it looks great. It's fantastic.
His mask and everything.
Yeah, I love it. And like the character, like I said, he could maybe be my top 10. It's just my way of saying that. Like,
what do you mean by top 10?
Top 10 villains of all time.
Okay.
Like comic book villains. So like, I don't think he is in the top 10.
It's good to classify because you have a lot of lists.
That's fair.
Could be your man crush list. I don't know.
I'm always making lists. Number 1, Hobgoblin. But no, like I just preference that by not a shite at him being in the top 15. Just like that's how much I like him, and because the reason maybe he won't be in the top 10 because he is just kind of doing like petty stuff, and he's just kind of like doing stuff that it's never a grand scheme. He's just really selfish. So, but that's what I like about the character. He is so selfish. He's such a fucking trickster in the comics. He's such a trickster in this episode. The amount of times he tosses and turns on Fisk and Norman, and it's great because he does that. But then at the same time, he's always like putting them up against each other. I think it's whatever. I'll spoil it. I like part 1 more than part 2, because I think it was just more Hobgoblin centric. In part 2, he kind of disappears for a bit. He's in it a lot, but in 1, you really get to see. Literally, at one point, he's with Norman, and Norman fires him, and he's with Fisk, and then he turns on Fisk to be to get up, or he turns on Fisk because Fisk screwed him over, so he goes back to working with Norman. And then when Fisk calls him out, he's like, no, I'm just doing that. So it's this thing of like,
I love him playing double agent because there's such a dynamic of like he's hanging out with Osborn because Osborn has all this technology, and you see he gives him the increased like flight.
The huge glider, because he has like the mini glider, but then he gets like...
And I think Fisk gives him like some more weapons or something, but he's hanging out with Osborn because he can maybe get some money and get some new powers, but then he's hanging out with Fisk because obviously money as well is a big
and he keeps hinting that
for this guy.
He
wants the influence.
Tower
he wants the power.
He wants just his not even that. He just wants his physical room, like this secret room. He's just I want this.
I think for me, the way I picked it up is like he wants the room because like that's like the head. That's the bait. Like that's where all the crime gets controlled from. You hit a button and these guys will go rob a bank. That's what I was kind of getting the feeling. And he wanted that power. He wanted that influence because. Maybe it's just because it would give him more money, but I just think, he just wanted the power.
Well, I think it's that. I think it's just like he almost wants to do it just to say that he did it. Because the second, that's why I like Hobgoblin, he's
very cocky.
Yeah. He eventually, I can't remember which episode, because I agree they kind of splice together, but we'll try to break them up. We'll talk about them in general. At one point, he gets everything he wanted, because at one point he says to Fisk, like, I want this chair. As pretty much alluding he wants that room. And like you said, there's a device in there that... You could press a button and do this, and it's like literally all this information about different countries and all this. So he gets it, but then what does he do? He could let Harry Osborn go, but he keeps Harry Osborn to hold him for ransom to Norman again, even though they just had a deal of like, hey, you do this, I'll get your son Harry if you let me have this stuff. Yeah. But he gets the stuff, and he's like, no, I'm going to keep your son Harry, and you got to do this for me. It's the thing of like, the episode pretty much starts with he wants to get, like, his motivation eventually is he wants to get back at Fisk. And he wants that room. And he wants the power that comes with that room. He gets it, but then it's like, it's still not enough for him. He's like, I need a little more. And that's why he's always been like that Hobgoblin. I like that. He reminds me of Loki, where it's that trickster thing of, like, you never know what he's up to. And when he's playing a double agent, you never know what his really end game is. Like, when he stumbles into plan, did he stumble into it? Or was this his plan all along? Like, with Fisk, when he calls him out, one point Smythe has that camera, a mini Spider Slayer camera of the meeting between Norman and Hobgoblin, and it's Hobgoblin saying like, let's get Fisk. he shows that to Fisk, and Fisk calls him out, and right away he's like, no, that's part of my plan. Like, and is it part of his plan, or is he just kind of going
by the seat of his pants?
That's what I mean at the beginning. Like, I'm just so confused. I'm like, Hobgoblin.
And that's what I love about this episode. It's so much fun because like they're switching all over.
And also, you kind of allude to this, but I like how the power, I guess, the craziness of this character, it really explains more of like the power of Kingpin, because to this point, obviously, you feel like he's up to some pretty big things, and he does hire a lot of people. He is doing a lot of crime, but this is where you really see like how much power he really has and how much he's really just kind of controlling everything that goes on.
Oh
in the city.
I think this is the first time you actually hear the word Kingpin.
That's true.
I think it's
the
opposite. I think this is the first time they say Wilson Fisk.
No, they've been saying Wilson Fisk from the beginning.
Have they?
Yeah.
I think it's the first time that someone maybe calls him the Kingpin.
Because after that he starts referring to himself as the Kingpin.
I think it's more... I think that people knew there was a Kingpin, but I don't think they knew it was him, because Hobgoblin in the episode acts surprised that it's Fisk. He's like, oh, so the rumors are true that there is a Kingpin. So I think he's been called Kingpin, but I think this is the first time that anybody's figured out that he is the Kingpin.
Well, maybe that's being surprised comes from he was trying to assassinate Fisk at this. I think it was the start of the episode.
Very start, because Peter saves him.
Yeah, and that maybe why it's like, oh, this guy got saved by some random reporter. This guy can't be, he can't be the Kingpin.
Yeah,
even though he is.
That's a good breakdown. We didn't even look at our notes, ladies and gentlemen, barely. Let's start off at the beginning. So I guess we can say that we all love Hobgoblin, or love to like. You just don't like him. You like him, but it seems like you don't like him because you're like confused and you're mad that you don't know who he is.
Yeah,
and even the way
I still like him, but like I just want to know.
And
I want to know more.
Even the spoiler of the way episode 2 ends, you don't get that conclusion. Every episode, if you don't know who the villain is, you find out. But this was like, once again, he. Like Venom, he's in the moon. He flies off in the moon, but it's that wink of like, oh, I'm gone. And I like that in this show, that obviously, like, it's a spoiler, he comes back at some point, but it's like, there is that payoff, because you are like, who is he, where did he come from, and why is he really doing this, you know, because he does just kind of drop in. Norman just apparently hires him, and that's all we know about him, and then we see throughout the episode how of a trickster he is, and I just love how much he's just up to his like dirty deeds. Everybody, for sometimes no reason, just for fun.
I think it is just for fun, like just his.
He's a very elaborate
entertainment because he has all the power. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, he could, as you said before, like just give back Harry Osborn.
Yeah, he didn't need him anymore.
Now, like, what's the fun in that? Like, let's just keep going.
And then he, like I said, then he plays them off against each other, which pays off in episode part 2, which we'll get into later, like what Fisk and Norman do. But what I'll say we didn't start off with is Harry is in this episode a lot more. Obviously, he gets kidnapped, but it starts with him.
So I had a question about Harry, because he's only been in one other episode?
Yeah, it was like...
And I don't even... Did he even have a line?
He was just
I remember noticing that there was two dudes with really strange hair, but I didn't remember, like... I feel like this is kind of his intro,
I think he had... It kind of is. He was in one episode minorly. Yeah. I think it's the same episode Norman was in, but only had like a line of like, hey Pete, or hey, how's it going? And that was it. Because they are best friends, but we talked about how it's like, doesn't feel like that. Obviously in the cartoon they're not yet. Yeah. They're just meeting right now. And because Harry doesn't want to be roomie with Flash Thompson, so he's talking to Peter. Yeah, of course.
Well, he's banging Felicia all night, so...
Is he though? We don't know. Not if he asked Felicia. But yeah, so I feel like this is definitely... We saw him in an episode, but this is his introduction. And how do you guys like him? Because the funny thing is, I actually like the character of Harry Osborn, but in this show, I'll wait to see how it goes along again to see if I feel differently, but I've always kind of not liked him, as he's always a little too whiny for me, and a little woe is me. Like, I can't remember, maybe later on, but I've always just had this remembrance of not liking him. In this version of the character, I don't like.
For me, like, he's all right.
Nothing special, right?
Nothing special. I think it's just at the begining. You really don't get much other than it's like, hey, like, you're not Flash and you're responsible and I need someone and you want to move out, maybe? So it's kind of like that. Just more of the start of a character. You don't really know too much about him.
Yeah, he seems like a nice guy, but there's not a whole lot of depth there. Except for the hair.
The hair, though.
Oh, the hair.
There's a story
back episode 1 where we talked about it. Yeah. Because I'm looking at my notes. Lots of the notes we talked about, like already about like Hobgoblin and whatnot. And, like I think this is an episode. There's many episodes where it's very basic. This is an episode, to me, honestly, if you haven't, I would watch this and then come back and listen, because the amount of deals, I'm not going to break down all the deals, but the amount of deals that Hobgoblin does make, I wrote them in my notes, but I'm not going to go over them all.
It's very exciting.
Yeah, it's very exciting, but it's hard to explain. Like, if we were explaining it to you, you'd be confused. You can watch it and not be, but if we explain it, you'd be like, what's going on? But that's pretty much the whole episode. It's just Hobgoblins playing Norman and Fisk off one another, and Spider-Man's kind of caught in the middle of it trying. And the other big thing is that getting Harry, he does inadvertently hurt Aunt May. Yeah. Well, it's not really inadvertently though, because I think he kind of does it on purpose because he's mad that he saved Fisk. Because remember, he says 2 birds, 1 stone. Yeah. So like he kind of
was intentional.
Yeah, he tried to hurt him, and that just brings him like bigger scumbag. Like. There's some villains so far, even with Brock, you could feel like there's something that could save him or sympathize with this villain, Hobgoblin. There's nothing. He's just like, he's the scum of the earth.
Oh,
like,
for sure.
And that's what I like. And yeah, that's like, and pretty much that happens. And how does the episode end?
It just ends him underneath the fire truck or something.
No, Spider-Man jumps in the building and pumpkin
it's a cliffhanger. It's a cliffhanger where the building explodes and Spidey... He could have died, but it's pretty obvious that he's just going to be alive. And then literally in episode 2, they just... started off. I don't even think they show that.
No, he does, because what happens is when the bomb blows off, he flies out the other side of the building. So that's how he survived. Yeah. So, was there anything specifically like?
I had a couple more things.
Oh yeah, no, go ahead. Yeah, because like I said, most stuff I talked about was.
First, just a nice quote. So when Spidey, or rather Peter, first moves into this apartment, there's like a party going on.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
First of all, I like the funky jam that's playing at this party. It's pretty groovy. But also, he walks into his room and he's like, "Big windows, perfect for web slinging. Moving out could be the best thing I ever did." I just love how that's just like the first thing he thinks about is like the windows of this apartment, so he can continue his mischievous activities.
Yeah. There was one quote that I liked. This is not even a funny quote. That they asked Hobgoblin about his look, and he says the reason he dresses like that is because he likes inspiring irrational fear and terror and wants this to be the last face that someone sees.
It's very Scarecrow-esque.
Yeah, and I like, once again, he's just like, it just seemed like this guy's just not messing around, you know? And
I like that, and it seemed like it was literally his face. It seemed like he is literally a goblin and not a person.
That's why I don't know.
I'm so excited. Because like, honestly,
it could just be some radiation that made his skin a little elastic.
It's like, is it a mask? But like thinking, it's just his face. Like, this is just what he looks like.
And this is not a spoiler. I don't even know if he's in season 2. I think it's a little while before he comes back. So that's gonna be festering for a while for you till the Hobgoblin comes back. Then what else you got there?
Just like something that was a little confusing. So there's at one point, I'm trying to picture where it. Okay, yeah, so it's Hobgoblin going to Wilson Fisk's house.
This was my next note.
And so he vaporizes the window, like using that thing on his
glider.
Makes a perfect circle, vaporizes the window, flies in the apartment, whips out a flashlight. I'm like, if you just vaporize this window with no trace that you did such a thing, it's so strange that you need a flashlight. Like, why does your glider not have a light function?
The glider has a remote.
It does.
It has everything.
No lights, though.
But no flashlight. I thought it was so strange that of all the tools for him to have, a flashlight seemed very... It was really weird.
Well, it's that, and the one that always still bugs me too is like he does every once in a while pull out a gun, and it's like, I get it, it's cool, but just like he just has like a laser gun, and it's like you have all these cool weapons, like these blades that cut people, and these bombs, it's like it's a classic gun. I did like in that same scene though, he finds a painting, and Fisk like and that's why I have it in my notes, like all three of them between Goblin and Norman and Fisk, it felt like a chess match, because like it felt like Fisk knew Goblin was coming. So the second he removes that painting, a claw takes out Goblin, brings him down, and then Fisk gives him his offer. Yeah. And so I like that. Like, even though Hobgoblin got the better of them lots of times, it didn't make them look too dumb because they were still doing stuff to get back at him. So I like that it's just like, oh, he thought he found Fisk's base, which he did, but then Fisk screwed him up. Yeah. So I like that.
I think that was all I had to say particularly.
Yeah, for me, I don't really have too much just because it all kind of blended together. Mm-hmm. And I think the biggest thing is just more of a setup and just how Hobgoblin was just seriously like screwing with these two guys. Yeah. I feel like people watching, like, you don't understand. Like, you need to watch this.
Oh yeah, YouTube, Netflix.
There's so much back and forth action happening. It's unreal.
Yeah, and
but it's great. It's great. It's not bad or anything like that. It's awesome.
I have just a few notes today when everything Aunt May was dead. When the ball went off.
No.
Okay.
Well, it wasn't really a bomb.
It was
more of a gas thing.
Yeah. True. I guess it just knocks her out. But she's in a coma for like days. Because they're like, nothing's changed in part 2, pretty much. They're like, oh, she hasn't changed. And
Peter, where have you been?
Yeah, they're all on his ass. I had notes. I love the pumpkin ball and the blades, the glider. That's one of the coolest things with goblins in general. The weaponry is just so cool.
Yeah.
I like that one point, giving a little depth to the relationship. Fisk says that Smythe reminds him of a young version of himself.
Maybe he used to have a mullet before he was bald.
That's one massive mullet. But, like, I don't see that, but I like it's either Kingpin just trying to, like...
Screw them,
or maybe he does feel that way. And I liked that line. It was almost, you could take this throwaway line, but just a nice little, like, okay, it added more to that relationship there. And that's what I like with the show.
I like Smythe. I think he's cool. Like, I'd be down if they threw him in Daredevil, you know? Just bring him along for the ride.
Like the Netflix show?
Yeah.
You never know, because Smythe is... Well, I guess it depends of what he classifies as, though. If he's a Spider-Man character or a Daredevil character, because there might be a rights issue, though.
I don't know.
So it's the same way, like that's what I mean. So like,
is he a prominent comic book character, Smythe?
He has prominent comic book storylines that you'll probably see a few of them in the show.
I don't like him enough to like go search these very
he has a few
comics, but
he has a few which
cool.
you'll see at least one of them in this show.
I think most of it comes down to the dynamic between him and Kingpin, though. For me, is, I guess the thing.
Mm-hmm. And then one other thing that I think this is my. I guess I have a few. Jesus. He says at one point Fisk is talking to Norman, like bragging, like, "Oh, I got the upper hand, you blah blah." Hobgoblin as a jerk pops up on the screen and just to trash talk him, and he says, "I hope you don't mind. I used your name on my resume." So good. Once again, just like little jabs. Hobgoblin's great. I like that MJ stayed with Aunt May. Really nice. Yeah. And like I said, these episodes felt like it was, I think I said this in the Venom episode, that it's establishing that MJ's more the girl in this one. Like, she's sticking around more. She's here for the dramatic moments. Because Felicia, is she even in the rest of the season? I don't think I even... No. And that's what I mean. So it's really, she takes a back burner after...
Her last episode was like that little flat with Flash exchange.
It was the Craven episode. Yeah, it was, because remember they're at the gala, and that's when they fight on the rooftop.
And I don't even think she was in the 3 series.
No, she was in the Venom episode.
Right, because Peter hits on her. Yeah, right. That's the last time we see her.
And the last thing she says is like, "You're different. You've changed."
Yeah.
So yeah, I like the prominence of MJ in this episode, in the 2-parter in general.
And the last thing I have is I actually really enjoyed the glider fight that ended the episode and went directly into episode or part 2.
I really liked all their fight scenes.
Yeah, like I love just stuff when you see Spider-Man web that glider and he's flying around. The fight scenes are really good. Some of the best fight scenes in the series so far. I don't know if they're better than the Venom one, but they're ones that are memorable, and I really like them because you're getting to see Spider-Man in the air fight, and that's good. So those are the notes I got on this one. Kyle, did you have something to say there?
No, I got nothing else.
I thought I saw a breath.
I was breathing. I do that sometimes.
Damn it.
From time
You've
to time.
been known to do it, man. Yeah, and I've seen it.
Yeah,
don't lie.
Dylan, you got anything else on this?
No, I just I really like this episode of Hobgoblin's really awesome. I love to see the more brutal side of Kingpin and his whole, I guess the more grand scheme of things in terms of him. So yeah, good episode. Thumbs up for me.
Yeah, there's almost a 2 thumbs up to me. Be honest,
it's like close.
It's like I really enjoyed this one.
Yeah, in the grand scheme of things, I'm still gonna give it a thumbs up because I did enjoy it. Yeah, that's really just it. Like it's good.
You just seem like you're mad about Hobgoblin. You're just mad. You probably didn't think this cartoon show was gonna make you wait for something, but now you're gonna have to.
Now I have to wait.
I can't wait till we review that episode where the payoff happens. I cannot wait till you find out the origins of the Hobgoblin. I'm very excited. Part 2, the Hobgoblin. This is one sentence, or 2 sentences. Nice. This is maybe the smallest one I've gotten so far.
It actually, even my short recap is pretty short.
Yeah, that's why for me, I like part 1 because it just feels like a lot more happens in it, and it feels like with this one,
it sets up for
with this one, there's a lot of fighting in this one, which is good, but I like the character moments more of like Hobgoblin flipping and everything. Like this one's still to me a good episode. But it's part 1 just delivered so much. Hobgoblin defeats the Kingpin and declares himself the new Kingpin of crime. Fisk having managed to escape the Goblin, asks Norman to assist him in reclaiming his position. That's legitimately it. Nice short one. It's saying in the
that's not quite what happens.
But that's I mean that's it for the Wikipedia one.
I feel like there's more. There definitely is more of that.
Yeah. Well, what happens after that is Kingpin believes he kills Spider-Man. So that's definitely a big thing. And then Spidey and Hobgoblin fight again.
Yeah. And then Hobgoblin makes Fisk and Smythe leave the building or the area too right after that. Because that's when Hobgoblin does take over. And he's just like... That's one thing that is missing. Because he's sitting in that chair for a lot of the episode, just kind of hanging out.
Got his legs up. He's chilling.
Yeah, and I think that's why this one's not as good.
You can tell if he takes the glider off, he's feeling pretty comfortable.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And, like, I feel like that's the thing of, like, in this one, he's in it less. So that's probably why I like it less. Because he's just kind of hanging out. But I do like what the Wikipedia one lays out. My favorite part of this episode is that I like... that Fisk goes to Norman and they work out together.
Yeah.
They hate each other so much. Like, Norm, because pretty much, I think we forgot to talk about in the first episode, but Fisk was saying that he wanted all his inventions and stuff like that, and he didn't do certain things. So there's lots of tension there, but I like that Hobgoblin is such a pain in the ass that they have to work together to get rid of him. So I liked that little twist at the end there.
And I think for me, I really enjoy Wilson Fisk or Kingpin a lot more. Mm-hmm. And I actually like Daredevil so much more, like the Netflix series.
Yeah.
Just like seeing their adaptation. This is kind of off topic, but their adaptation of Kingpin is so like. Close.
The Daredevil Netflix series is a lot it's a lot more different. Like the whole thing of him being sympathetic, he's not that he's more like the Spider-Man version. I think that's why lots of people like the Fisk one in Daredevil because it's something different and it works.
Yeah.
But he is more notoriously just kind of a hard ass who.
Yeah.
You know, he does. You will see like his what the fuck is his wife's name? In Netflix, like I
can't remember. Maria
Lagler.
No, what is it? Vanessa. Oh. You're my Vanessa. Yeah, she does come into the show, the cartoon, and then you do get to see more of his vulnerable side. But he is more notoriously like, I'm the Kingpin. You know? So you're just saying you like the Daredevil one more?
No, I'm just saying that as I'm watching more of Fisk, because I believe more in this episode, you see more of Fisk working, as well as I guess the Hobgoblin 1 and 2. Yeah. You see more of Wilson Fisk in general and see more of his character development over time other than just the other episodes where he's kind of like, he's just playing people, like, I need you to kill him because I need that. But
we've never seen his back pushed up against the wall yet. This is the first episode where you see him in danger, where, like you said, he is just kind of behind the scenes in the episodes so far that we've had. Like, he's actually in the action.
Like, I think this might be the first time when we really actually see Spidey and Kingpin, like, face-to-face. Because a lot of the time, it was just background.
Yeah, and then Kingpin's just trying to keep on the down low, you know?
As he is.
Yeah. What did you guys think about Norman and his relationship with Harry? Do you think... How much are you thinking he cares about him? Because he does this big speech at one point about... No, because he does a big speech about, like...
I think it's at the very end he does this big speech.
I'm just saying in general, just a relationship, about how he doesn't care, and how he's mad that he works so much and he missed birthdays and soccer games and all this, but then Spider-Man's like... and then at the end, so Harry's just like, he's going to take everything from me, and he lists all the stuff that Hobgoblin takes, and it's not his son. It's like his inventions, his corporation. So you don't, Dylan, you're going with the not at all really cares about him.
No, he clearly has chosen work over a relationship with his son, and I think that comes across from... Well, it seems kind of disjointed, though, because when Harry first gets reunited with his dad, he seems pretty stoked. He's, like, really happy to see him.
Like Norman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, when he gets, like... rescued, I guess.
I think he does legitimately love his son and want to be with him. I just think it's just he's more worried about work and business and money. Yeah, where it's just like he's still a bad father, but he still loves his son. So
I think so as well too.
That's what's the takeaway here, where he's not a complete piece of shit, but he's still like a little bit of a piece of shit.
Yeah, and you can definitely see it with Harry. He's like, my dad, after the divorce, like my dad just gives me whatever I want type thing. So like like Harry knows how to use his own father for his money.
Yeah, well, he does get us in that sick apartment.
Yeah, with that party. Oof.
The bumpin' jams.
Bumpin' jams. It was great. No, but and then at the very end, you do see, as to reiterate what Travis said, that why am I getting all these names mixed up? Not Harry.
Norman.
Peter. Oh.
Yeah, Peter. That Norman does actually care about his son and does give.
Wait, Norman or Nathan?
Norman.
Okay, cool.
Did you think his name was Nathan Osborn?
I wrote down Nathan at one point. So now
it's Norman.
Storm Norman.
That he does care about his son, so he's not a complete douchebag, but a little bit for neglecting.
I had that in this episode. I like that Peter lots of time was blinded by Aunt May being hurt. Blinded so much that he made a deal with Norman to be to work together, where I don't think he would have previously, but because at one point Norman's like, well, don't you want to catch him? He's like, oh, do I? Or it's like, oh, you bet. Like, he's like, I want him or something like that. Yeah. So he was clearly mad.
So do it for Aunt May, I'm pretty sure he said.
Yeah, we talked about, he said he needs to do this for Aunt May. Yeah, so like, I think I liked that he was a little blind and a little kind of just red in the eyes, wanted a little payback instead of maybe doing the right stuff and the smart stuff.
Yeah.
So, I have a quote that he did, a quote that we haven't really talked too much about, this episode so far, but at one point he's in the elevator and he says, could this go any faster? And then the elevator breaks and then he's just like, oh, I had to ask. I liked that one.
Did I have any quotes from this episode? Let's see.
That was about it. That's. I have one more question that I'll pose at the end of this, but that was about it for the part 2. Like I said, part 2 to me was pretty self-explanatory of like Hobgoblin and Spider-Man fight at the beginning. Hobgoblin wins in the middle. Norman and Fisk team together. Eventually they dethrone Hobgoblin and Hobgoblin just escapes. Like that's pretty much it. Like I feel like this was a more action episode. It was still actually, I really enjoyed it, but I think I enjoyed it less just because I enjoyed part 1 so much, but that was all the notes I had.
Yeah, I just have a nice couple quotes here. So this is actually related to that elevator.
Oh, the elevator.
The scene.
Is this the Fisk one?
No, it's just Spider-Man. Next time we'll take the stairs. Classic.
That's good. Fisk at one point says he's like, like an elevator, like destroying an elevator was worth like destroying Spider-Man. Like, something like that. I like that one. Yeah.
Definitely a worthy trade-off. Mm-hmm. Actually, it was a pretty stacked elevator though. That thing was powerful. Mm-hmm. The other one is at some point Spider-Man, I think it's toward the start of the episode, he uses like a dumpster as cover. And he's like, I hope Rat-Man and Cockroach Man aren't already in here.
Yeah, I left that. I meant to put that in my notes, but I totally forgot about that. But
and then the other thing I just wanted to bring up is we see more of how awesome Mary Jane is. She's just chilling at the hospital the whole time.
A long time.
Yeah.
A long time.
That doctor gives him a lot of shit at the end, becomes his father.
Throw some shade.
Yeah, he's just like, where were you? Like, this is important. Like, no wonder what they say, like, kids today, they're just so bad, blah, blah, blah. Like, just shamed them. Yeah. Kyle, did you have anything?
No, I think just this episode was... I think, for me, I just really enjoyed Wilson Fisk.
Yeah.
And I like how they had to actually work together, and even though... It was like Norman's plan, but at one point, what's Smith? Oh.
Smythe.
Yeah, there we go.
Smythe kind of questions Kingpin's actions. He's like, "Wait, why are you working with him?" Type thing. Like you were just trying to kill him, or he was just trying to kill you. So it's kind of just giving that backing of Kingpin, like has a bigger picture than just what's. Smythe sees, so yeah, I think that's kind of interesting as well too.
We touched upon it a little bit. This is one question I wanted to ask. We touched upon it a lot already, but do you have an idea of what the origin of Hobgoblin could be? Do you think he is some sort of beast? Do you think it's somebody in the show already? I want to ask you too. What do you have any theories right now going in? Kyle looks like his mind is short because he's just mad he has none. But do you have any?
It's Robbie.
Do you have any ideas who it could or could not be?
I have no idea.
I'm pretty certain it's not Aunt May.
Would be a good cover though, but yeah, I guess she's in the hospital.
You don't see Felicia this entire time.
True. She does have a goblin-esque appearance.
Does she now?
No.
I have no idea.
No, I haven't really crunched the numbers on that one. To be honest with you.
Okay. Do you think we would have? What if it's Robbie?
I'm not saying anything because I know, so I'm not gonna say.
Oh, you do know.
Well, I read the comics.
Oh, okay. Can you give us a hint?
Wait,
the hint.
Is it a character in the show already?
I will. No. I will give you this hint to make it better. He is not like a radioactive being. That is a costume. I'm not gonna say if what episode or where you made. I'm gonna say that's not just like a monster goblin. He is somebody. So yeah. So that's
now. He's someone that was in season 1. Like he's a person.
I'm not gonna say if he knows. I'm gonna say he's not.
That's all I wanted to know.
He is.
Then I don't know.
Maybe it's Smythe.
I'm so excited by this because we're doing our own mini, like the classic Hobgoblin.
Do you ever see Hobgoblin and Harry together?
I think you do, yeah.
Because remember, he brings him to the computer screen too. He's like,
he literally flies through the sky holding him.
Yeah, he does.
Okay,
yeah.
Damn it.
It could. Well, Norman is Green Goblin, right? Mm-hmm. So probably not that.
I did tell you though that Hobgoblin's done some some mind control stuff in the past. So he's a trickster guy. You gotta watch out for him.
Maybe it's Harry's mother.
Just want to get back in Norman.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Every time
Jameson.
Every time he's
no, I don't think so.
Every time he's in,
he wasn't in this episode.
surprised.
Every time he's in this episode, or every time he's in an episode, I'm going to refer back to you guys and see, like, who you guys think. But do you have any Dark Horse picks anymore right now? Or are you still on the, no idea right now?
No.
Okay.
Nothing.
I feel like I'm going to say Harry.
Okay. So
just because,
Harry.
even though you do see him, I think it's just like an image.
He does have a remote control for, like, the ship, so he could just have, like,
I think he's just playing mind games.
A lot of mind games.
To get his dad to like him more, because he knows his dad has all the toys.
He has a lot of toys.
This is my theory.
This is exciting. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, for future episodes of Hobgoblin.
I might need to watch all of them.
No, you will not. You watch it by time. Don't ruin it. Let that salver, let that simmer a bit. And then when that happens, boom. Last episode, this is the season finale of season 1, Day of the Chameleon. The Chameleon, an international spy, attempts an assassination on 2 diplomats in order to derail the signing of a peace proposal. JJ assists S.H.I.E.L.D. in an effort to prevent the Chameleon's crime. A little fun fact: the Chameleon was Spider-Man's very first villain, other than the killer of Uncle Ben. His first villain of all time in the comics.
Mm-hmm. Fun fact.
So just a fun fact right there. Mm-hmm. What are you guys feeling on Chameleon?
I like his belt.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great belt. It's
in the comics, he's more known for not that. He's more known for being an actual master of disguise and using outfits and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he does have that messed up white face. Sometimes it's been male before, but the belt thing I think is rare. But it's probably easier in a cartoon just to be like. But yeah, so you're liking his powers. What about the actual character?
I think the character overall is pretty cool. I don't mind the costume. I think it's pretty neat as well too. Mm-hmm. Just no hair. I think Spider-Man does say something.
Yeah, he said about bad haircut or
nice haircut.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
he actually has no hair.
Dylan, because we're nearing the end of this is the end of season 1. How have you turned around? Are you liking Spider-Man a bit more now? And Peter?
Oh yeah, he's definitely grown on me. Like at first it was like I don't have that many conceptions of like who Spider-Man should be, I guess, in my mind, and the character that Peter Parker is in the show is definitely not that, but he's grown on me, and since they toned down the one-liners a lot, I do like him now. He's definitely grown on me. It was just like more of an initial
the journey
impression.
We've been on, folks. That's great.
How you kind of have to though, right? Because if you just don't like him, then you're not gonna have any fun. So you kind of just have to.
How are you feeling on Chameleon, Dale?
I quite like him. I think he has a very strange look. Mm-hmm. Kind of looks like Voldemort a little bit.
Mm-hmm. The man who shall not be named.
Sorry guys.
We're screwed now.
But no, I like his voice. I like his look. I think it's pretty cool. I like his power. I like his belt. Yeah, his belt's very nice. Mm-hmm. Nice green.
I like his powers. Never been a big Chameleon fan. I think because, and you see by this episode, he never really has that much personality. I maybe have not read that many episodes.
He definitely just uses other people's personalities.
Yeah, and I've not read too much in Chameleon. Like, there's not that many, I think, great Chameleon arcs. If there is, let me know, and I'll always read arcs of characters.
You know why? Because they're always about someone else.
I know, but like Hobgoblin has an arc. I'm just I get what you're saying, but and even in this series, throughout the show, he is always just he's mute and he doesn't talk that much and he's very quiet. So for me, it's just cool powers, but just can't gauge. You don't know his motives really. You don't really So that's kind of
just another assassin, though, right?
Yeah, he'd be a guy if he was in a Spider-Man movie. I'd never want to be the main villain. Just somebody like Shocker's going to be in Spider-Man, but apparently it sounds like he's just going to be a guy that Peter stops robbing bank. That's who I'd like Chameleon to be. I never want the main villain to be Chameleon, because I feel like it'd be pretty boring. Mm-hmm. And to me, this episode, I like this episode, but it's one of the weaker ones. I like it for some of the Easter eggs.
A strange
finale.
Definitely,
I have that in my notes.
I think too. I actually like the last ending minutes, but as a finale was strange. You almost would have. To me, you almost would have ended on Venom.
That's what I was thinking.
Venom or
I actually have that in my notes.
Yeah,
which is obviously Kingpin goes on to do more probably, but something like that, right? Chameleon seems like a very strange pick.
I think the only reason why it gets a pass as a finale because you get that S.H.I.E.L.D. Nick Fury thing. So that's why for me it's not a total bust. Yeah. Without that, it's gone. But I like Nick Fury's in here. He's great.
Yeah. What do you guys think of You like him?
He's good. He's a little too happy in this version for me. He's just like, way to go, Spider-Man. Like, he's just like...
Gives him the old thumbs up.
Yeah, at the end of the episode, like, he's just a little too happy-go-lucky when Nick Fury's always known as, like, a super hard-ass, whether it's the Sam Jackson
dark
version.
And brooding sort of guy.
Yeah, like, and he can have his, like, comedic moments, but just the whole episode, he felt really approachable, and that was my problem, you know? So, I liked him. I liked S.H.I.E.L.D. being it. Like, the second... Like, you watch it and I was like, oh, this is a S.H.I.E.L.D. episode, right? And when he falls and it's like the hell carrier, I got like a little like nerd boner, like, oh, the hell carrier. So it's like, that's why for me, it's not the most exciting episode, but because of S.H.I.E.L.D., it makes it like a worthy finale, so.
As a big S.H.I.E.L.D. fan, what do you think?
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Favorite show of all time.
No, I actually have S.H.I.E.L.D. with like exclamation marks as well too. Because I thought that was so.
That's cool. A lot of exclamation marks.
It was a lot because I was pumped, man. Like I didn't really.
Because the second you see them, you're just like, oh, Avengers and that whole thing, the team, like it's just.
That's like, the first time you really think about like, oh, there's more than just Spider-Man and.
Yeah.
Because I had no idea. I'm thinking, okay, it's just gonna be Spider-Man and all of like these villains that he's just gonna face, and that's really just gonna be the TV show. But it's like. No, there's so much more now that I'm so excited to see what's going to happen, and I think I can't wait to. It's weird because the first 3 seasons.
I'm just saying, if you fucking watch the episodes before, it's just take fucking notes, and I'm gonna rewatch them 4 times. The first 3 episodes kind of like rewatched 4 times.
Oh, because I watch way too many at once, and then I forgot what happened in the beginning.
That's how I take your full notes. I tried to
disjoint my experience for sure.
Yeah, definitely will have to do that.
Well, you posed a question. How are you feeling about Nick Fury and S.H.I.E.L.D.? We said, how are you?
I quite like him, actually, and I think it's because if this was the first Nick Fury I was exposed to after the Avengers, because that's the only other one I know.
Yeah, same here.
Ultimate Alliance.
Exactly, that's what I was going to say. I honestly think it's because of Ultimate Alliance. He looks exactly taken out of the game.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, it's cool. It's like, that's a character I never wanted to play as in the game, but now it's like, oh, nice. I know this guy more now. I actually
He's part of the Marvel
have a
family.
more conception of like Nick Fury. And so... I guess now that you mention it, his happy-go-lucky attitude seems a little inconsistent with like what Nick Fury maybe should be. But I liked him. I like his look. The eye patch, awesome. I thought he was good. I liked him.
Yeah, I equate him to like he's never your favorite, but he completes a package. It's like if you're at a family dinner and you know maybe an uncle's missing, you could still have that family dinner, but like the uncle should be there, and it feels like a complete package. The same way with Nick Fury. Like he you're never going to be... That's your favorite character? If it is, let me know. But I don't feel like he's anyone's favorite character. But you don't hate him, you know? Like, you feel like he's in the mold. And I always...
For a character that has to be there, you're like... You're good with it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And, like, they used him good. The whole Jonah thing, kind of know you had weird things where you're like, why is they trusting Jonah with all this? I think it was just the thing of, like...
We watched the episode together.
Yeah.
That's cute.
Should have been. They were holding hands.
Yeah, and I was
nice.
I don't know, calling him
feeding
Gwen.
each other popcorn.
Gwen. Yeah,
Gwen.
Wow. That's a movie I want to see.
I think they just used Jonah because he just was closest to the situation and everything like that. Like the newspaper, I think that was it. He does, like, you'll see in the few seasons, he does have a past that maybe is hinted at, so you have to see more of that. But I think it's just like by situation.
Maybe explain his $1 million that he has.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I like that they set up the eye patch thing early on. That's a big twist at the end, or in the middle of the episode. At one point, Chameleon pretends to be Nick Fury, and he got the patch wrong.
Yeah.
I like that. That was good. I like a lot of those fake outs that Chameleon did. I like that one. I like when he kisses MJ, which MJ was super into it. She was moaning too much for a kid's cartoon. Just have her kiss her, but she's like...
She's been waiting, man.
Oh, but then she's like, why'd you do that? And then he's like, oh, I knew you'd let me, or something like that. And then the other fake out is I legitimately did not know for a second.
Peter Parker's one lucky guy,
Yeah. At the end, Peter Parker, because they do a good job of showing the two diplomats at the meeting, and they don't show you Peter's waist. Because, like, that's the thing with the belt.
That's why I was confused.
So, right when Spider-Man comes in there, you're not sure who's who, and then the reveal. So, like, that's the thing, like, I don't think it's like Venom or Hobgoblin or like a Doc Ock. Like, it's not like a deep episode, but it's just like a lot of fun spy. Like, it's like a James Bond.
He's walking down the hall as Robbie. Robbie comes out, God damn it.
Yeah, like it's a fun cat and mouse game, despite like when Peter's like look.
Episode,
yeah, it's fun, but despite when Peter's looking around, like, where's Chameleon? It's like, I don't know, the guy with the fucking red ass belt that's bright as can be. But like, other than that, I think it's a fun episode. You know?
I was gonna say, what is the name of the person working with Fury? Agent 1? Is it Agent 1?
We looked it up. She's like nobody. Really wondering if she was Black Widow.
I thought I was thinking Black Widow at the start, and then I thought I heard the name Agent 1 Obviously, that's like a code name, maybe.
Yeah. No, I looked it up on like the wiki database for Marvel, and like not like a few sentences. So like if you guys know more about it, do. But like I think she's just like another agent.
I thought she was pretty cool. She was pretty badass. Plus, there was the part where the helicopter was flying away, and it was the classic of like her shooting and missing. I was like, classic. But then she actually hits and takes out the helicopter. I was like, nice. That's what you want right there.
Yeah. No, we were running the same thing too. She was a good stand. Give us that spin-off, Agent 1 spin-off series.
Yeah, like I would like to see more of her in the show.
I think she appears a few more times, because I think Fury does come back.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he does for at least one more.
Mary
episode.
Jane's long lost mother, perhaps.
Oh, it's the Hobgoblin.
Oh no.
I like that some people have always said that it's a shout to Batman. The gargoyle's named Bruce. Batman's always known for being around gargoyles and whatnot, so it's kind of like that. If it's that Easter egg or not, I don't know, but I like it. I think it's supposed to be. Yeah. I don't have much. I have a few other things. I like that at the end of the day, MJ slaps Peter because Peter leaves her again. She slaps him. I guess I'm skipping towards the end, but that's the part where I like the series finale that end with her walking down and Peter just trying to like, after. Yeah, and it was just like a good way.
Wait, listen.
Yeah, like the actual episode felt weird as a finale, but that last scene felt like a finale type of thing of like a little cliffhanger of like, oh, like he's still after MJ.
Yeah,
like,
but like you have a lot more better idea like who he's actually going for.
Yeah, that's
compared to the beginning of the season where you're like, I don't know what he's doing. Like,
yeah.
So I think that kind of ending note was really good. But yeah, my note was like to you guys like what you thought of, if you thought this episode was really out of place for being the finale.
I think
I think Chameleon maybe is as like a villain, but I think the introduction of S.H.I.E.L.D. I think that was good.
It's a tough one
because it entices you to want to watch more. Because now I want to see more of what that's going to be down the road.
Because you couldn't do the S.H.I.E.L.D. thing in the Venom or Hobgoblin episode, right?
You couldn't.
But then like
the space. What do they call that ship that they have?
Helicarrier.
Helicarrier?
Yeah.
That thing's badass, man.
Oh, that's so
cool.
So
yeah.
good.
But then, like, I think the Chameleon part you could have done in between Venom and Hobgoblin. Like, it was weird to have a 3-part to a 2-parter, but then I think, like Dylan said, I think it's the S.H.I.E.L.D. thing that doesn't make it feel weird.
Yeah.
So I think it's just kind of like, a finale, let's end on something that's, like, good enough, gives you a little hint towards the future, you know, like, I think it is a good enough finale. I don't think it's the best, but like you said, Dylan, it leaves me wanting more. I like that it kind of is that first of like, oh, new characters. Like, he's talked about Fantastic Four, this and that, but this is the first really character that's come in, Nick Fury, of like somewhere else in the Marvel universe, which is a big setup because that's a preview for season 2. Lots of characters drop in. So it's that setup of like, okay, more people are coming. So, you know, I'll switch. I'd say it's a good finale. Yeah. As an episode, it's alright, but as a finale, it's good. No, I'm going back to good enough. It's still good enough because it's like, it's,
Well, I'm just going to quickly finish off my single notes for this episode before we talk about the, I guess, as a finale. But I another good quote. This air is going to ruin my lungs faster than tailing a Manhattan taxi. Oh, that was nice.
Ooh, was that Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because Chameleon's all about throwing gas bombs.
Right, he has a lot of gas bombs. Oh, that's his go-to.
And then so the other I was gonna mention this earlier, but I forgot when. So Agent 1's like and her team break into. They're chasing some dude. They're looking for some dude, and he has like the briefcase gun, and I love that. I thought that was so sick.
Oh, that was good.
I always love those.
That's one thing we talked about in the middle. I didn't really understand what Chameleon was after. I know it was details, I guess, for this assassination, but it seemed like
I don't actually know.
It seemed like this assassination was pretty public, and he could have figured it out. Like, they kind of made it sound like there were some files he's after. So
he was after the security file, so he can know how to break into.
I guess, but like, he can turn into anybody.
But he needs to take a picture of the person first. So I guess he was going through the files to take some pictures of people, which he did.
Was the camera the gun?
But then, it was. But then he turned into Parker, who he didn't need pictures of, because he turned to Parker later to kiss MJ, right?
He probably realized he could just use Parker as he was breaking in.
Sure, but because he doesn't talk, we don't get to...
We have no idea.
No, and that's why it's like the plan is a little, like, you don't really know. Even the Wikipedia thing, it didn't even really lay out his plan. It just laid out that I got that he wanted to assassinate them, just the whole stuff he did in between didn't really understand. I guess lots of that, too, is just him trying not to be caught as well.
Well, it kind of seems like we came into this episode with, like, maybe there should have been some build-up to it, because it seems like Agent 1, or I guess S.H.I.E.L.D. in general, was already looking for this guy.
Yeah.
They knew about him, and Spidey just kind of caught onto his trail.
The episode starts with her right away.
Yeah, so maybe like there could have been some more intro of him somewhere else. Like maybe even just like background, like on a news program they're talking about it or something. I don't know.
I agree. No, I agree. There's something to be left desired there. So
but that's all I had to say about this episode specifically on its own.
Yeah, I think I'd give it a thumbs up for the S.H.I.E.L.D. stuff, and the Chameleon actually was fun, like the twists and turns. You know, and I'd give it a solid thumbs up, not even a measly one, because like the S.H.I.E.L.D. stuff was good. I think as a finale, it's a little strange. Like it works and it doesn't work, but I think it's a thumbs up because Chameleon was fun. It's not too or in depth, but I like the cat and mouse game, so I give it a thumbs up. Nick Fury appears. Agent 1's cool. I like the cliff note with Mary Jane and Peter.
I'll agree. I'll thumbs up as an episode itself, just because I did like Chameleon. Obviously, the S.H.I.E.L.D. stuff was really good. As a finale, kind of weird. Like I was thinking that we might get some more like Kingpin things, and like maybe that would like finish off his storyline. Clearly, that's not the path the show takes, and it doesn't seem like a season isn't necessarily one coherent like finale. Like, it's not one.
It's not Netflix story. Level.
Yeah, it's not it's not your Netflix Daredevil series, right? So I think now that I know that, like, it'll kind of change my expectations of what a finale is going to be. It's essentially just another episode of the show, really.
Yeah, it is,
and I think I'm okay with that, just because it is just 20-minute episodes. I'm cool with it.
Yeah, and that's notorious for like the X-Men and the Batman ones. Like the very last Batman animated series, which is hailed and has won Emmys, the last episode is just like an episode. It's not like a goodbye thing. Like that's more current nowadays in animation and whatnot, because I think it was a different time in the 90s. You just made episodes, right? Yeah. So, but I still think it's good that we still kind of like treat it as like a little like we talk about it as like it's the last episode, you know. So Kyle, what did you Dylan, you said a thumbs up. You're giving it.
Yep.
Yeah. I'll give it a thumbs up. I think I really enjoyed. It was a fun watching Chameleon getting chased, and especially I was so blown away that I thought Spider-Man was Chameleon, but I wasn't.
Kyle got shocked twice. The first time when he was kissing MJ, you could clearly see the belt. He's like, "That's not Peter."
I wasn't even looking at the belt. Classic Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But no, like it was a lot of twists and turns, and I really liked it. It was lots, and S.H.I.E.L.D. like seeing the helicarrier was sick, and no, otherwise it was good for a finale. Well, I guess again, like it's a product of its time where I guess finales weren't like, oh, this is the season finale, like we need to move on. It's like, nope, like this
set your PVRs.
Yeah. This is just like another episode. So I think in that aspect, like thinking about it that way changes my outlook of just the episode itself, because I still enjoyed it, but I'm like, this is what you have for your season finale.
Yeah,
but I'm forgetting that we're watching it like 22 years later. So
God, it's 22 years old. Jesus. Yeah.
So otherwise,
you just hit me with a reality bomb. I did not. I was thinking it's 10 years old.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. I guess to do a mini one, I was gonna ask you. I have a couple questions about season 2, like just like what your expectations are. But if you could pick a number for season 1 as overall rating, and what would be your favorite episode? If you guys aren't ready to go, I'm ready to
go. Well, I'm gonna say that episode 1 and 7. I was iffy on. 2 and 3 were like. Actually, we'll go episode 1 and 6. So that's Lizard Man and Scorpion episode. Yes. I was kind of iffy on, and then 2 and 3, which are the Spider Slayers and as well as Kraven, were like my thumbs down. I think, and then the rest were thumbs up and good. I'm gonna go with my favorite is still Dr. Octopus episode, episode 4. I really like that episode.
Strong episode.
Followed by like the Venom trilogy was really good, and I like the Hobgoblin as well.
Oh wait, we didn't even talk about what was our favorite episode out of these 3? Would we just say it was Hobgoblin Part 1? I think we kind of all agree.
I would say so.
Yeah, because that was the most intriguing one. Okay, we just didn't do that. Sorry, listeners. And anyways, continue going to your rating.
Yeah, so I actually did write down a number here.
Oh, give an actual number.
I wrote down 7.5.
Yeah.
I'll stick to that, 7.5, maybe an 8. Just because it seemed like there was some like disconnect. It seemed a little inconsistent at times. Like the Spider Slayer episode, like it was essentially a 2-parter we talked about way back in episode 1. They could have easily done one episode there and then like had the second episode later. Like the Spider Slayers could have came back in the episode with Venom when they're like when they need Shocker, Rhino, they could have sent Spider Slayer. You know, they like that was kind of odd timing of it. And then we talked about the 3-parter followed by 2-parter.
Yeah. Kind
of strange. So the timing of everything was kind of strange, and then we obviously just talked about Chameleon as a final episode, maybe a little weird. So there was some disconnect. That's why it wasn't, like a perfect 10 or anything, or even a 9 for me. Yeah. But there is some really good episodes in here for sure. And Dr. Octopus episode 4 is my favorite.
Nice. Kyle?
For me, I found watching it found the first part of it really hard to watch. It took a bit for me to. Really
both of you guys have had a good turnaround because those first three, they texted me and were like, I don't know, like it's all right, and I was like, oh, like just give it time.
Now I'm stoked.
I'm like, give it time because it's really good.
It was hard the first like few episodes to watch, but then it's really turned around and kind of changed. You can see where they actually have gotten more money for budget as well too, because I feel like the animation has changed a lot from the very beginning to the very end. Like I was telling Travis when we were watching the Chameleon episode, I'm like, do these action shots look a lot different from what the previous action shots in like earlier episodes were? So you can tell like they got a lot of traction at this point in time. That oh hey, like people
these
really
shows
like
were
this.
Huge too, like ratings wise. Like this and X-Men and Batman, like the kids love these things. Like this is how I grew up. I grew up with Spider-Man before comics was this show. Like this is what was on like tapes and tapes. So it was a big deal back then.
Yeah, I think I like remember watching these, but like not enough to like I remember every single character.
Not enough to theorize who the Hobgoblin is.
Oh no, not at all.
Your favorite episode and a rating of season 1.
I think I really like the Kraven episode, but for me, like the Venom series itself.
Oh, you're doing a cheat. You're lumping that together.
I'm lumping it together because that was just so well done, and that just reminds me of kind of like how these newer TV shows that we see nowadays, and this is just thinking this is just crazy that we're commentating on a cartoon. Like we're talking about an animated TV show from the 90s and to be giving it ratings.
It's funny that like that trilogy is like maybe an hour long overall. That's like a one episode, right? And it's a whole story film told.
And it's just amazing to think this was just for kids, but as we can just keep reiterating, like no, this is like an adult can watch this and enjoy themselves and get some information out of this, and has all these twists and turns, and I never really thought of that from a show like this, so
well, I think that's what
it's quite an eye opener.
Well, yeah, and I think for me, like that's a big thing. Lots of people, and I maybe even guilty myself sometimes. Like you kind of write off animation, but you forget. Like for me, I always like remember like Toy Story for me, like one of my favorite movies of all time, and like stuff like this. And I always say like X-Men, Batman. Like there's many series out there that are great, and they are not only the tributes to the comics, so you are learning stuff like that. And like for myself, who's read them, you get like cool flashbacks, but it's just like. They are good and they are quality, and it's not like cartoons. Sometimes you can watch and be like, "Oh, I'm watching a cartoon." Where this, you do feel like you're watching a Spider-Man story. You kind of get lost. You know it's a cartoon, but not in the sense of like quality.
That's not the first thing on your mind, right?
Yeah, and to me it should because there is so much great animation out there. So, Kyle, you didn't give a number for season 1.
It's tricky. It's hard to rate.
I'm gonna make you.
It's hard to rate it just because the beginning was so rough that I had
put that into your score.
That I had a really rough time with it, but then the ending was so good as well too. I'm still gonna say like. A 7.
Okay.
It's still pretty high. Like it's still really good.
Oh,
but I feel like I had such a rough time with the beginning of the series that's what's bringing it down.
That's fair. Yeah, I'm pretty much. I'm very much where you guys are. I'll go 8. So it works 7.5, 8. I was like you guys like going back and forth 7.5. I like the Lizard and Scorpion episode a lot more than you guys, so I think that's what helps. The only ones for me that are negative are those 2 Spider Slayers. They do set up some stuff with Smythe and Kingpin, but they're very meh episodes to kind of boring. Like the Spider Slayers I've never liked, and they don't do a good job of making me like them. So, and like there's the Chameleon episode and even Scorpion that aren't as important as like the Venom trilogy and Hobgoblin one, but that's what kind of keeps it from kind of being like a 9 or a 10. But it's an 8 because to me the Hobgoblin dual parter and the Venom trilogy is fantastic, and then you got those 2 solo episodes of Doc Ock and Mysterio, and those 2 are really strong. Like we love those 2, so that's why for me it's like an 8. There are some weak points of the season, but those strong points are really strong. So that's why I'm giving an 8. And my favorite one is still the Venom, the final one, the Alien Caution Part 3. Yeah, it's just a good finale, and it's a good it feels very cinematic, and that's what I like. I love the Cat and Mouse game. So I have 3 quick questions to hit you with. Where are you wanting season 2 to go? If you have any idea in your mind, where you want Peter Parker to go, where you want the storyline to go, do you have any idea where you want to go next with season 2?
I feel like it's going to go, obviously, with S.H.I.E.L.D. and Avengers more base, and with those characters and villains.
Okay.
Do you want that?
Do I want that? I think yes, because at first I didn't know where they were going with it at all. I think, again, I thought it was going to be Spider-Man villains, and that's it the whole time. But this kind of gives it a little bit more dynamic and gives you a lot more interest in like, it's still Spider-Man, but like you still get other characters that you know of as well too. That
still like the Marvel universe in a way.
Yeah. other than just like the whole name drops, like it's clobbering time. It's like, well, I haven't seen the Hulk yet, so I'm pumped to see what's coming up next.
Dylan, where are you want to go, or where are you thinking it's going?
I'd be okay with S.H.I.E.L.D. staying on the back burner. You know, maybe similar to how the Kingpin situation was handled in season 1. Like it'll be in a couple episodes, maybe prioritize in like a two-parter trilogy or something like that. Yeah. But I still want to stay on the back burner. I would love to see cameo appearances from some characters that I know. Like even if Hawkeye pops out, I'd be so down for that. I'd be so sick. Yeah. But overall, I think we've seen like how good they can give a story for a villain in one episode with Mysterio, Dr. Octopus, and even though I didn't like Kraven's episode, the character is good. So even that, and so it's season 2. If they could bring back a couple of them for another episode, I'd love to see that. And
well, that was my other part question. Who did you want to see return, and was there anybody out of Spider-Man villains or even other like you shout out Hawkeye? Is there any new characters you want? And you already said some returning.
What is this? What is the Sandman? He's in Spider-Man 2, I think.
He's in 3.
What's his name?
Sandman.
It's just Sandman.
Yeah.
I don't really know anything about that character, but I know his powers, I guess, and I think that's very interesting. So I'd love to see even like a 2 or 3-parter on that guy. Okay. Obviously, I really want to see Green Goblin coming back. Mm-hmm. You're seeing that my lack of Spider-Man villains. I really don't know that many.
No, that's fair. They showed a majority of them, like in here, like the big ones. There's only a few coming. I think that haven't been. But Kyle, is there any characters you want to see come back, or new characters we haven't seen? Whether it's hero, or villain, you want to come in like a Hawkeye or something like that? Is there something?
Oh, and Punisher. Punisher's in the intro, I'm pretty sure.
I'm not saying.
No, he's in the show, like the intro of the show.
I don't know.
He was in the last episode. He was in the intro of the show.
Yeah, so I want to see some Punisher because.
Well,
spoilers. It's a great episode.
I'm pumped. I just rather be surprised. I don't really know what characters. I have no idea what characters they'll throw in at all. All I know is Nick Fury, and I don't even know who this Agent 1 is, as we discussed earlier.
Apparently she's pretty minor, which is
she's not missing too much.
Yeah, but just surprised me, and I'm just pumped to go along for the ride and see who's coming up next. I think it's not a specific character I'm pumped, like really wanting to see, just more like I just want to be surprised, and I'm just wanting to know where the show's going to take me next.
Mm-hmm. Well, as a little preview, next episode, the first episode is the Insidious Six. That's going to be a big one.
Yeah. I almost wanted to click play, but I figured I should probably separate season 1.
Well, now you can. Now you can start taking those little notes. But yeah, so
who do you want to see, Travis?
I know who's comes. I don't want to say.
Oh.
I guess I'm not going to say because I don't want to spoil who comes. I'm just excited to see you guys see it for the first time. These are one of these shows that I wish I had not seen. I could have experienced again for the first time because I know some twists. I know like the Hobgoblin thing.
That's a good point because like at least for me and I think you, Kyle, we have such a different perspective now that we're so into Marvel. Yeah. Even though I don't read a whole lot of the comics. Yeah, in fact, I don't read any.
But that's what I like these because these will like many of these stories are very closely based off the comic book. So you guys get a lot more. Like at the end of the Wikipedia, lots of them are like based off issue this, and so it's like. Even if you're not going to go back and read this 1963 issue of Spider-Man, you're going to know like, oh, I know who Hobgoblin is now. So in the movie when they announce like, oh, I know, like there's like that's why I like this show is like I always say if people that love comic books but like love this Marvel thing but don't want to read comic books or anything, that's what animated shows are for because they're like great. Mini issues. Yeah. So
it's 20 minutes. Like
they're easy to digest.
So much
unless they're Spider Slayer episodes. Yeah. But
an hour long.
But yeah, no, I'm just excited for season 2. I'm excited to rewatch it because I've had a lot of fun, and I've had lots of fun talking about this. So I hope you guys have had lots of fun hearing us talk about it. I hope you're watching along with us.
I didn't think I'd be so excited to record this podcast, honestly, but this has been so much fun.
Oh yeah, these
the first podcast was like, I don't know if I could do this. Like, I didn't really enjoy the series, but it got better and better. So
thank God, because it would have been fine if you all right with it, but you guys would hate it. Would be like, oh, cancellation. But no, so please come back.
Let us know what you guys think
for season 2. We're not taking a hiatus. We're not taking a 3-month summer break for season 2. We'll be back the next month covering season 2. You can go to geekversepodcast.com, find everything, our Facebook, our Twitter for all our updates on these shows, our other spin-off shows, the GeekVerse main show on SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher Radio. You can catch us where, gentlemen?
On the web.
Nice.
You dropped the ball. I thought you guys were going to say it at the same time, but...
No, I totally forgot.
You look at your days and hours.
I'm dazed and out.
You're pretty sleepy.
Yeah.
We got this, fam.
Anyways, please come back for that. Thank you very much for tuning in.
Thank you. I promise you it won't be boring.
Wow. Just stealing my stuff like Hobgoblin.